What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Labrynth. Going to be a deck that's going to be played a little bit more in the upcoming meta, not being hit with the Mulch armies. And on the right side here, we have Mimighoul, going to be upgraded from the newest set. I think they have like 5, 6, maybe even 7 new cards into the deck, which is going to be quite good. We are going to be seeing Labrynth going to be forced to go first here, or they end up winning the die roll here, choosing to go first, and we just set 4 and we pass turn. Mimighoul is now going to be starting off with a special amount of a Castier Unicorn. This is going to be pretty good. And we do see the Freezing Curses to negate that Unicorn there. And banishing 3 cards. We see a Druisworm, a Fairy, and a Dragon here. We also see a Nib in the hand of the Mimighoul player. Not going to be the greatest. We normal summon out the Dragon, which will be activate the effect searching for any Mimighoul spell card. Going to be able to search for whatever we want. Most likely going to be the Maker or the Dungeon. We see the Maker being searched. We're going to activate the Maker here. And then we're going to be able to search out for the Slime alongside the Mimighoul Cerberus there. We're going to be putting the Slime on our opponent's side of the field, which is going to be one of the newer cards. And then we special out the Cerberus, or the Archtreat from our hand here. And then on some, we are going to be activating the effect of Torrential Tribute, not even allowing that Cerberus to flip up that Slime altogether. Entirely wiping the field, we are going to be activating another Mimighoul, I believe it was Cerberus, putting it face down to our opponent's side of the field, and then passing turn on this with an additional set. Our opponent's going to set a card, and they're going to attempt to pass. During the end phase, we are going to be seeing Mimighoul Room going to be activating, letting us summon out a Mimighoul monster from our deck, or the hand. And then they can change one face up to face down. We're going to be seeing the Master going to be summoned to our side of the field. We also have Mimighoul Room going to be in the graveyard now, so we can actually use that to flip up a card as well. And then Maker will be able to activate searching for the Dragon. And then we can also activate the effect to, if it was in our main phase, we would be able to flip up that monster as well, which is going to be pretty important. But we're going to pass turn on that, and it's simply going to be back to us. So now we activate a dungeon, which can allow us to search for anything, including in the graveyard. We want to add back for that consistency. We search for a second new card, Fairy there, and then we normally summon out the Dragon once again, searching for another spell. And like, these decks are going to be very grinding decks. Mimighoul has to be played correctly from the player, and then Labrynth is going to be setting your traps and then resummoning them or resetting them continuously over and over and over again. Very a weird matchup in this case, but we shall see. Mimighoul might be able to slowly start punching over things because they do have the dungeon, which can continuously add back. It also lets them not be able to normal summon, so they have to flip up that monster there, which is important, because it will activate the effect, making them banish 3. And we hit a Big Welcome, an Arias, and a Welcome Labrynth. Hitting the Big Welcome is going to be pretty huge, alongside that Welcome, of course. We also then give back the Cerberus to our opponent, and then we can normal summon with the Ariana, which can let us activate the effect, letting us search our deck for whatever else we want. But hitting that Big Welcome out of 3 is going to be very impactful. I believe this build is playing 3 Welcome Labrynths, so not going to be that big. But for the Big Welcome, it's going to be kind of huge there. We see the Arias being searched, then we activate the effect, summoning out that Lovely. Lovely will then be able to let us start setting the traps back once again. And they're just going to pass turn on this. So we are going to activate the dungeon, adding back that Cerberus from our graveyard back to our hand. And then we put the Arias in attack position there. And we are going to attempt to go battle phase. They do activate the Druid Mechanic to flip it all face down. And we do have the room to bounce everything in the graveyard, or bounce all our cards, Mimighoul monsters, from our field to the hand. But we're not able to bounce the Arias there. So we do banish the room to bounce back. That's going to add the Dragon, Maker, and the Cerberus back to our hand. We can now give our opponent back that Cerberus to be able to trigger, once again, banishing those cards. And that could be continuous. That could be our win con there. We're going to see a Dragon being special summoned, I believe, because we control a face down, so we should not be able to normal summon. Yeah, so we special summon here, I believe. You can special summon a card from your hand to your opponent's side face down. Yeah, so we should be able to normal summon it because we do have the the dungeon on the field. Yeah, we can't normal summon monsters, so we should be able to do that dragon there. Dragon's not one that can be special summoned, I do believe. It says, during your main phase, you can summon a card from your hand to your opponent's side of the field face down. This card is normal summon. Yeah, so we shouldn't be able to do that because we do control that monster face down. But we do go for the third card, which is going to be the throne, or the giant there. And then we destroy it with the flashing fire. And then we're going to activate the effect of Maker once again, putting a card face down on opponent's side of the field, and summon with the Master once again. And then we're going to see the Master search for a Cerberus, and then we can activate the Cerberus, putting it to our opponent's side of the field. And we just pass turn on this. So we have Maker in the graveyard as well as Master going to be able to flip up a opponent's card during the main phase. We flip up the Ariana as well as the Lovely there, and then we activate the Lovely effect. Resetting, which I believe was the Jaruma Cannon. It could have been also the Torrential Tribute as well, but we just set another card and we attempt to go end phase. And in the main phase still, we're going to activate the effect of the Master. And that's going to flip up the Cerberus. We banished another 3. We see a simultaneous equation cannon, another big welcome, and a lady. That's the second big welcome going to be hit off the Cerberus here. That's going to be huge for the Mimighoul player. And then they activate the effect of the Cerberus. We draw, or we're going to banish the Maker to flip up the Cerberus. The Archfiend, I should say, my bad. And then that's going to allow us to essentially draw a card because our opponent cannot discard anything. Just being a free card, and then we just draw for turn as well. So we're going to go battle phase, then we're going to be seeing the Archfiend going to attack. They do Jaruma Cannon once again, and everything's going to be flipped face down. We could have chained the lady, our own lady there, that we had our opponent's side, which could have set a Mimighoul room from the deck, but unfortunately we did not. We could have also set an Imperm as well. I feel like those definitely would have been good options, being able to set an Imperm from the deck, making your draws a little bit less dead, as well as, in the grind game, it can come up. Lovely is going to always be activated, so being able to hit that with an Imperm can be quite beneficial, especially if we start putting it in the same zones that our opponent has trap cards in. We'll be negating them for the turn as well. So we flip back up the monsters that were not summoned this turn, but that was during the battle phase, which is going to allow us to protect our life points here anyways. We set 2 more cards, and then we just pass turn on this. Lovely will be flipped face up, activating the effect, replacing that Jaruma Cannon. Then we flip up the Aria once again as well. Then we're going to be seeing the Aria attack into the Cerberus, and because it's not the main phase, it will not activate its effects, but it's still going to have pretty beefy defense. Then we're going to be seeing the Lovely attack into the Archfiend there and pass her. And they tried attacking into the Master, but Master has 3,000 attack, which means the Lovely would die. So they don't do that. We see an additional set and then a pass turn. We're going to normal summon out the copy of the Archfiend, activating the effect, and they do chain Big Welcome, which will allow us to summon out the lady and bounce back that card there, allowing Archfiend not to resolve. But the third Big Welcome is now in rotation. If we can get rid of this card with a copy of SP, or really honestly just getting rid of the Lovely with SP, the game essentially would be over. We're going to be seeing them set an additional card, and we're going to be drawing off the Ariana to set that card, that trap, but we are going to be thinking about link summons here. We are linking away into Anima, which could take the lady, but we're going to be going up into the SP instead. Then SP is going to activate the effect, attempting to banish the back row, wanting to banish that Jaruma Cannon. I feel like banishing the Lovely is just to guarantee us the win. But we see the Jaruma Cannon being chained, booking everything face down, and the SP gets sent to the graveyard here. Like, this is, I just don't get it. But that's okay. We're not even chaining the SP. We're going to flip back up the lady, and then flipping back up the master, flipping up the Arias once again. And I'm not exactly sure where the dungeon went, or why it left the field. Maybe, oh, Lovely popped the dungeon. Okay, that makes sense. So, Lovely popped the dungeon, and the Arias drew that card and set it face down. Interesting that we wanted to pop the dungeon. I mean, it does add us consistency every single turn, but I kind of feel like that card's just kind of busted. And we do activate the Mimighoul room and chain the lady this time, being able to set the imperm from the deck. And then we go for the Archfiend and the another new monster here, the Armor, going up into the Assemble Nightingale. This can attack directly and unaffected, I do believe. So we might be seeing a Zeus line here altogether. We're going to activate a Thrust, which can search us for Terraforming or a Talents. And that's just going to be admitting defeat from the Labrynth player. The grind game wasn't very much real in this set. I mean, I guess when we start attacking directly, it's going to be pretty impactful as well. But we could see a Zeus to kind of board wipe their whole entire thing. I can't believe we didn't bounce or banish the Lovely there. If we would have banished the Lovely, we would make it so that their opponent just cannot win. Lady is the only thing that can start setting the traps from the deck, and we have no other way to recur that that Big Welcome. And Big Welcome, I guess unless we play the spell, we know that most players are not playing the spell right now, so you can kind of assume. But once you get rid of that Lovely and 2 Big Welcomes are banished, that third Big Welcome can't come back, and it's only going to be used once to banish itself to bounce a card. And at that point, the game's going to be essentially over. But moving on into Game 2, we are going to be seeing the Labrynth player most likely going to go first. You're not going to go second against Mimighoul. And we see a set 5 and pass. Now, could we see maybe a Lightning Storm or a Duster to essentially board wipe the game? I'm assuming no, because we see a special summon out of the Unicorn, Fenrir, Kashtira Unicorn. We see a flip up of Skill Drain, paying 1,000 life points to essentially board wipe or negate that Unicorn, not letting us search for Birth. We're going to see the dungeon once again search, and we activate Maker right off the bat, and we see a dragon alongside the fairy there. And we put the dragon on their side of the field. It's going to be negated off the skill drain, which means we are going to be starting to keep those bodies as well. But then we just summon out the Maker. We're going to then go battle phase attack. And it's just going to die. Then we attack with the Maker as well for 18. And they do decide just to take it. It's only 18 because it's not left on the field next turn. As soon as the turn passes, it's going to be 3,000 there with the dungeon. It just has to be the next turn. So we see a welcome being drawn, but there's no areas for them to set it. That's going to be kind of unfortunate for them. So they just pass turn on that. So we're going to see the dungeon effect adding back that dragon from the graveyard. Having the recursion is going to be insane for this deck. Being able to play less of those monsters, just being able to add back from the graveyard, kind of huge. Obviously, you're going to be playing 3 of the dragons at all times anyways. And we see the runic card, I believe one of the 3 being activated, summon with the Hugin. Now, why did we not do that during our turn so we could set the Welcome Labrynth? I'll never know. But we use the Hugin to protect our life points here. But we still get to take the 3,000 off of that Maker. We then normal summon out the dragon, and we are at 28 life points here, and we just pass turn on this. So if we don't have anything that can stop it, we're going to be just winning the turn. We're winning the game next turn. We have a 25, a 23, as well as a Maker on the field. They're going to go battle phase, straight to battle phase, and attempt to attack with a Unicorn. And here we flip up We flip up Welcome Labrynth. They have an Ash for it. We have a Strike. Letting that Welcome resolve by paying 15. So now we've taken 18, 15 plus 5. We're going to be seeing the lady being summoned in attack. They're going to go battle attack with the Maker, making it both die. And then we Ice Dragon's Prison, just to summon a body onto the field so the dragon cannot kill us for game. Maker will die, and we're going to be seeing the Maker being added back off the dungeon. We then activate the fairy, summoning itself out, and then we go up into the giant. It's going to activate the effect there to try to destroy the cards, but we go for a Welcome Labrynth, summoning out that lady and bouncing the lady. Then we just summon out the lady again, for anyone wondering. But yeah, that card's going to be kind of crazy. We then go Big Welcome to bounce back that unicorn, and then we just set an additional card and pass turn. Okay. We're going to go Druid Swarm on the lady there, summoning itself out. It's going to be able to be linked away and then send that lady to the graveyard here, which is going to be leaving us direct access for damage. But will those trap cards kind of prevent that there? We're going to go Battle Phase and attack. We change a Ruma Cannon, flipping it all face down. And then we go main phase 2. We're back in a grind game once again. But Mimighoul is in control. The only thing that's really stopping them is that skill drain. We see a Maker being normal summoned once again. And yeah, they realize they can't do that because of the dungeon. We go Maker. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I keep saying we normal summon the Maker, but we normal summon the Master. But we see Maker going to be sliming and the armor, putting the armor on their side of the field, and then we get the special summon out the Maker here, or Master. Master then cannot search because we are on our skill drain. We flip up the Druid Swarm, and now it's the time we go dungeon, add the fairy. I'm pretty sure we added the Master back, so we probably shouldn't be able to do that, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. We set one, and these turns are very, very long. You know, it kind of just becomes a blur when you're on like turn 4. I guess I should say these turns are really quick, therefore you kind of get confused if you've done these actions this turn, because a lot of the times when you go, your turns are like 5-10 minutes, while these turns are under a minute each. So we see the lady attack into the nightmare, the giant Mimighoul. It is Nightmare Fuel, but it's not a Nightmare Mimighoul. We see them pass back after they set a card, and then we link away the Master as well as the Druid Swarm. We can now see the Druid Swarm attempt to send the lady there. We can now attempt to attack directly, and we have lots of Mimighoul cards left in the hand to be able to activate. We normal summon out the Cerberus, and we activate the effect of the fairy to summon itself out. Then we can overlay once again into another giant Mimighoul there. And they do see that they have a second copy of it in the graveyard, which can now let us IDP banish them both, allowing us to protect our life points once again. They still have that. Armor on the field, so they go battle phase, attack into it, and then it's going to go to the graveyard. They do activate a Welcome. They chain Ash Blossom to that, and just that's going to be a pass. We have now a Prosperity once again, which is going to now let us banish, having another chance at seeing a card. Could we see a Big Welcome Labrynth here? We banish 6, and we see a simultaneous an equation. We see a Arias, a Strike, and we add the Ariana here. This will allow us to normal summon, and then we can't get the effect because we are under skill drain, but we can beat over that SP, dealing with nothing on field anymore. We're going to special summon out the unicorn that we knew that they had. And at this point, like... Wait. Okay, I was going to say... Do they just admit defeat, or are they actually going to simultaneous equation this? But yeah, I know they just admit defeat here, and we see Mimighoul end up taking the win once again. That simultaneous was set this whole entire time, but unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit too hard when Mimighouls are able to like control the field, and summoning a level 7 is not going to be very easy. Regardless, hope you're watching the video. I know Mimighoul is a very popular deck on the channel. Shout out to Todd for being always playing some crazy good stuff there. If you guys want to see his deck profile, it's going to be coming very soon. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see more content like this. And stay safe. Peace.